What's going on, duelists? It's Darius with the Game State, and today I'm here to share a very special deck profile with you guys. My first deck profile, and more importantly, my favorite deck in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since I've entered playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively, I've been playing Earth Machines, and this by far is probably the best build. I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm going to have to alter it with the new ban list coming out, but with the past 5 most recent locals that I went to, I've been able to top 4 out of the 5 times, with 2 of my local tops being 2nd place, and then a 3rd and a 4th place. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, up first we have 2 copies of Therion King Regulus. Most people have been playing 3 for consistency reason, and with Ishizu tier running as rapid as it did, but now with the ban list coming out, limited it. In my opinion, I feel that 2 are good enough. You don't want to see 3. 3 can get kind of bricky when you don't have some way to discard one. So of course, it gives you your Omni Negate, helps you play around Nib, which essentially you're going to need that with this upcoming format. But yeah, 2 copies of Therion King Regulus. On to the Machina package, we have the best normal summon in the deck and the best starter, which is 3 copies of Machina Gear Frame. When it's normal summon, it lets you search out any Machina that you need, probably your best combo route, which your first target will be the single copy of Machina on Class Bar, which when it's added to the hand without drawing, of course, you get the special summon, and then it foolishes another Machina unless you go into your rank 4 plays alongside Gear Frame. Up next, we have a single copy of Machina Metal Cruncher. Most people have dropped like the Gear Frame package, probably to just 1, and just run 3 of the Metal Cruncher to go with the Brutal Dozer build. And in my opinion, yes, Bestials are a thing, but once they see that you're playing Earth Machines, often or not, they side out the Bestials, and if you do see one come up in the game, often or not, they just target the on class bar. Really good skilled Earth Machine players can play around it, so no need to be afraid. Then we have our final 3, which is our boss monsters of the Machina package. We have the single copy of Machina Fortress, Machina Citadel, and Machina Rune Force. Fortress is the floater of the deck that helps you extend and continue to get off your combos. Of course, Citadel we use him for defense as well as being able to get into our rank 4 plays. And Rune Force is the trump card that always catch people off surprise. They see the tremendous amount of text and they just choose not to read, and then when you go into battle phase and then you have their life points and get an Omni, you basically just swing for game. So really spicy, really spicy. Moving on to our Infinitrack package, we have the single copy of Infinitrack Harvester. Most people run 2, you see people run 3. Honestly, I feel it's not really needed. You don't want to see it as often, plus it's searchable off. If you do your Machina combo, you can just search it off of Giga and X, as well as being able to summon it off of Urgent Schedule. And you really don't want to normal summon it, you really want to special it. For our 3, also, he's a great, he has level modulation, which is good. That can help you get into different kind of plays, whether it be rank 10 or rank 9, or in some cases rank 8, depending on your build. For our remaining 3, we have the single copy of Brutal Dozer, single copy of Trencher, single copy of Tunneler. Of course, this is the second part of the Infinitrack combo. Any combo, really, you summon out Brutal Dozer, you either one of these 2 being extenders, by this letting you summon a body from the graveyard, and this being a pot of avarice to help you regain resources and get your +2. For our training package, we run the single copy of Pegasus Railroad Stampede, a single copy of Bullet Train, and a single copy of Air Crane. This is the OTK, obviously. I run the 1 copy of Stampede to be able to, again, level modulate into anything. Most people use it to get off a rank 10 play. If you don't have 2 rank 10s on field, you can just summon one from the grave, or summon this out and then chain a Air Crane to be able to get into your rank 10 plays. And obviously, with us playing the Stampede, we are running a small Vertisil package of 2 cards, which is the single copy of Awakening Forest, single copy of Thawning Mountains. My reason for this, I don't want to go too heavy on the Vertisil package. There are like 60 card builds. I've tried it. I really don't want to get it locked into Earth effects only, because it hinders exactly what it is that you can do to be able to OTK your opponent, as well as if you play other generic staples like Abyss Dweller, etc., or Baguska. Well, not Baguska, but you play Abyss Dweller or anything that isn't Earth, it kind of hurts it because you just have a random body on board, but you're not truly able to utilize it. And for our final Earth Machine, of course, the single copy of Box to be able to search out the Tunneler and the Trencher for extension. And for our final monsters in the main deck, we have 2 copies of Medora and 2 copies of Keldo. Obviously, when the ban list drops on the 13th, you'll be seeing this video before that. Being able to utilize the shufflers of the Ishizu package essentially has led me to victories over at Ishizu tier. Actually going up against Ishizu tier with them milling them, being able for me to be able to shuffle back resources that I know I'm going to need that if they got milled, as well as force my opponent to use their shufflers on their turn if any of these got milled, to ensure that I wouldn't have to worry about graveyard disruption on my turn to be able to OTK my opponent. That'll conclude our monsters. Onto our spells and traps. Up first, we have 3 copies of Machina Redeployment. Again, seeing this in Gear Frame in hand is always amazing, or seeing this in Harvester in hand will always be amazing because you just get the plus. Just get the plus up, discard, and search out 2 Machina monsters that you may need to be able to pop off. We have the single copy of Heavy Forward. Again, the Infinitrike engine, in my opinion, is the weakest engine of the deck because it does lock you into Earth Machines. And I didn't want to run a second copy of Harvester because, again, I don't want to see it. I would rather have Heavy Forward be my second searcher in the Infinitrike package, because then that way I could just automatically go ahead and shut out Brutal Dozer if I'm going the Machina route. Or if I have any other Earth Machine that I could put on field, I have the Infinitrike combo just searching it off the Heavy Forward. We then have 3 copies of Urgent Schedule. Often than not, when this resolves, it's pretty much GG from there. Love this card. You get the special summon 2 bodies. That's just free real estate. You can set it, pop it with Ballista, get another level 10 search off, so that lets you get into your train cards even quicker, or you can get a Citadel or a Ruin Force if need be. So a really good card. And then the most recent support that Machine decks, more specifically Earth Machine, has gotten, we have the 2 copies of Clockwork Knight. It's a floodgate that you can put on board, increase the attack of your monster, be able to ensure that you're able to swing over your opponents, as well as disrupt some of their plays. And of course, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish it, discard 1, and be able to search out anything that you need, and to ensure that we get to see Clockwork Knight in the graveyard. We run the single copy of Foolish Burial Goods to be able to send one of our Clockwork Knights and be able to use it to search out Therion King Regulus, which is the primary target that you do use to ensure that you're able to play past those vital disruptions, which Earth Machine really does have a problem with when it comes to bad hands, is that 1 disruption to kill you. Being able to use the Foolish Burial Goods to send a Clockwork Knight to be able to search out Regulus always ensure that you're able to play. Up next, we have 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Again, this is the first board breaker that we do have to be able to push through, and prefer this over Dark Ruler No More, because again, we want to swing for game. We want to go for the OTK, and using Droplet, you can send things like Machina Overdrive, Clockwork Knight, and the either Keldo or Medora to ensure that you have one of those in the graveyard to help you gain further advantage, as well as being able to be able to push through your opponent's board with ease by shutting off vital monsters that they have. Next, for our other board breaker, we have 2 copies of Super Poly. We were in a fusion heavy format with Shizu Tier running Rapid. If you're playing against a fusion deck, why not be able to fuse off their stuff? You know what I mean? For our last and final traps, we just have some simple 1-ofs. We have the 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 1 Call By to, of course, deal with disruption, and the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Most people are playing Triple Tactics Talent at 3. I had 3. I will be playing 3, but I only have the 1. And the 1 has sufficed, surprisingly enough. I've been seeing it very frequently to be able to help me extend. Of course, being able to get that Pot of Greed off or take control of one of my opponent's monsters to, again, help us OTK. So really good. The Harpy's Feather Duster, most people aren't main decking back row removal, but in my opinion, you should at least main deck 1 form of back row removal, because cards like Crime, etc., can get Double Cross, etc., could get very problematic. And this way, you can also use it to bait out other problematic negations and be able to play from there. For our 1 and only hand trap, we have 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence, of course, to be able to shut down Kit or the Sprite XYZ, to be able to weaken their board. And this came up a lot when I did see Imperm. We hit the Kit, it weakened their board dramatically, and we'll see a Droplet or a Super Poly and just be able to push for game. And for our final card in our 45 card build, the 1 copy of Machina Overdrive. Again, we don't like to use the primary effect, but it is good when it comes up. We just like to use the shuffle back to be able to recycle our 2 level 5 Infinitrikes, so that we can get our Infinitrike package back in the deck, and then plus by drawing 1. So this is the main deck. Nothing too crazy, pretty spicy, but let's move on to the extra. For the extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Gear Gigan X. Again, this is the primary rank 4 play that you do have in the extra deck to be able to search out the second part of your combo. If you do go the Machina route first, you can search out your Pegasus if you do have a Vernal Sylph in hand, or there is another way to special summon things in this deck that we'll get into later. And either or the Infinitrike Harvester, whichever you prefer, that does come up. Really good. Up next, we have our Infinitrikes, which is the River Stormer and the Earth Slicer. This is not often, and 9 times out of 10, what you're going into with the Brutal Dozer to be able to either add an Earth Machine that you need or send an Earth Machine that you need. Earth Slicer is here when it does come up to just be able to help you get problematic cards off the field. When it does come up, it's pretty good. You rarely go into it. If you want to use something else, you could. But when I didn't have this in deck, and I could have used it to destroy things that I needed to get off the field to ensure that I would secure the victory, it wasn't there. So it's up to you. I prefer that you do run this because it is really good when it does come up. For our rank 10s, of course, we have the single copy of Gustav Max, single copy of Superdora, and for the rank 11 that will be stacked on top of those 2 rank 10s, we have the Libe. So this is the OTK guaranteed when it comes out. It's GG's once Libe is out. Superdora works really good going first, as it can just target itself. It's a 4K defensive body that you can use that gets really problematic when it becomes unaffected by its own effect, to slow your opponent down and ensure that you do survive in the event that you do go first. And for our final XYZ, we have the single copy of Zeus. Doesn't come up as much, but when it does, hey, you know what Zeus does. Zeus gonna do Zeus things. On to our links, we have 2 copies of Infinitrite Goliath. I don't think you need more than 2 if you know what you're doing. The 2 are suffice just enough. You can free up that spot that most people use for a 3rd Goliath. You can free up that spot for something else that's advantageous, which you're going to see. On to the link 2s, we have the single copy of Platinum Gadget to be able to special summon a level 4 or lower from our hand. Great for extension. Great to be able to go into your rank 10s, or again, it's a part of the Machina route to summon out the Harvester if you searched it off the Gear Geek X. For our final rank tiers, we have the single copy of Ancient Gear Ballista, single copy of Anger Knuckle, and the single copy of Quiver Genius. Ballista lets you search out box, of course, to get an ad, and then, like I said, you can use Ballista to pop one of your spells and traps. Most likely, your targets are going to be Overdrive, Urgent Schedule, and Clockwork Knight to be able to make an opponent's monster attack and defense 0 to help you OTK. Anger Knuckle helps you float Bullet Train. It gives you the Bullet Train loop, because on end phase, Bullet Train gives you an ad back. Also helps you go into your rank 10 plays, and then of course Genius to deal with those problematic spells and traps, and it synergizes perfectly with Urgent Schedule as it lets you get off a search when you summon 2 monsters to the zone that it points to. And for the final 2 cards in our extra deck are our Super Poly targets, which is the 1 Garura and Starvin Venom Fusion Dragon. Now, most people play Predaplant Draco Stapelia, but in my experience, the first locals that I tried using Super Poly and having a Predaplant Draco Stapelia, it really didn't come up a lot because you can, I forget which tier card it is that can be used for fusion summoning. It really didn't come up a lot, and plus you're using the Super Poly. 9 times out of 10 you're using the Super Poly on your turn, so being able to go into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and use one of the great tech cards they may possibly be on your opponent's side of the field and being able to gain that effect to be able to help you, it comes up a little bit more often, and it's really good. And of course Garura, because you want a +1, get that draw. For our side deck, really I'm not going to showcase a side deck because, again, as most people know, that side decks are tailored to whatever locals you are playing at, so there would be no point in me showing you one. But this is going to conclude the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely going to have to take out the Keldo, 1 Keldo and 1 Medora, as the ban list is coming up. But I've really enjoyed this build. Arguably, this is my best build. I've seen the most tops that I've ever seen since I started playing competitively and actually attending locals back in 2019. This has been my best build thus far. I hope it helps give you guys that do play Earth Machines inspiration to sort of mess with the recipe that I've established. And I want to thank you guys. And as always, comment, subscribe, and always remember to advance the game state.